Episode 9, Blossom, June 16th, 2025. Alfheim, neutral territory, ancient forest. Katsumi, Saki, Akio, and Mariko soar across the sunset sky above the ancient forest. Saki maneuvers next to Katsumi.
Have you spoken to Ryu recently?
Not since that day.
How do you think he's doing?
Not sure.
Mariko and Akio fly closer to them.
Haven't you two gotten together yet?
What do you mean?
Oh, come on, Katsumi. It's so obvious.
What's obvious? Okay, Mariko, Akio, let's head back to base while Katsumi figures out her feelings.
With a wink at Katsumi, Saki flies downwards with Mariko and Akio following close behind her. Hovering in one spot, Katsumi crosses her arms as she watches them go.
Honestly, they're relentless.
Katsumi turns and flies up higher in the air.
Well, I better make the most of my alone time. It's such a beautiful sunset.
Soaring above the clouds, Katsumi smiles as the wind blows through her long purple hair. Katsumi halts when she spots a large monster ascending high in the sky. With a smirk, Katsumi grabs her bow from her back and loads an arrow onto it. Before she has a chance to fire her arrow, a single salamander player tears through the sky and slices through the monster with his two-handed sword. Returning her arrow to its quiver and setting her bow on her back, Katsumi watches in awe as the salamander weaves swiftly through the air and slashes all around the monster. Finally, the monster vanishes as the salamander depletes the remainder of its HP. Flying closer, Katsumi gasps when she realizes the salamander player is Ryu. He wears elaborate white and golden armor. Elf ears stick out from behind his now dark red hair. Meeting Katsumi's eyes, a bright smile spreads across Ryu's face.
Ah, Kat! It's you.
Yeah, it is.
A brief silence falls between them.
You look great. I see you finally got your bow. Well, I guess I saw your bow when, you were shooting at me when I was a dragon. Except you didn't know it was me at that point.
Oh, thanks, I guess. You look great as well. I like the armor and the great sword. It's much better than, well, the last one.
Right.
Another awkward silence fills the air.
This is stupid. Why is it so weird between us?
I suppose since so much has happened these past few years.
It's good to see you smiling again.
Well, this view certainly doesn't hurt.
Somehow this sunset reminds me of the day when SAO was launched and all of us were trapped in the game. A similar sunset filled the sky that day.
Ah, yes. I thought it felt familiar. Maybe it was taken from SAO and added to ALO, just like the Einkred Castle was.
You could be right.
It's strange, but after all this time and with everything that's happened, I still feel at peace watching this virtual sunset. VR MMORPGs still feel like home.
Part of me misses SAO. Being trapped in virtual reality was almost simpler. Now I yearn to stay logged in for much longer than I can be.
Oh, you mean because...
Because of my condition.
Ryu looks down with a short exhale.
It's alright. I just have to take breaks is all. Besides, it gives me time to look up tips and tricks online.
Even with VR MMORPGs, you're still doing homework. Some things never change.
And some things do. How long have you been playing ALO?
A few weeks. It's been strangely therapeutic.
Was it hard to dive back in?
At first, I couldn't even look at my nerve gear or atmosphere without wanting to throw them across the room. After a while, though, I started to yearn for the VR MMORPG experience I never had in SAO.
What's that?
The experience of growing as a player and as a person. To discover who I really am and to become a stronger person in-game and IRL. As soon as the Dragonheart Blade entered the picture, I was robbed of that opportunity. I'm making up for it now. I'm playing as me. Nothing's controlling me, and nobody's messing with my mind. For once, I can truly play as myself.
So, you finally moved on.
You could say that.
Then I guess there's only one thing left to do.
And what's that?
We have a duel. Not to see who's stronger, but rather to commemorate how far we've come these past few years.
Alright, but I won't go easy on you.
Good. I wasn't planning on holding back either.
Brace yourself, Kat, because here I come!
A second later, Ryu soars straight for Katsumi with his sword prepped for an attack. Smirking, Katsumi flies upward just as his sword swings toward her. Wasting no time, Katsumi fires an arrow down at Ryu, who blocks it with his sword.
You sure you're giving this everything you've got?
Katsumi fires her arrow as Ryu glides out of the way.
Of course! Otherwise this would be boring! Besides, I've learned a few new tricks these past few weeks.
A circle of magical words appears around Ryu as he starts chanting his spell. 3 of the slanted words stop in front of Ryu as he recites them. As soon as the spell is finished, Ryu's greatsword starts glowing with fire.
Now things get exciting.
Gripping his sword, Ryu speeds toward her. Rapidly, Katsumi evades Ryu's fiery sword by gliding to the side of him. Using her feet, Katsumi pushes off Ryu's left arm and soars away from him. Twirling around and loading an arrow in her bow, Katsumi smirks down at Ryu.
You're not the only one who's learned a few tricks.
Reciting her own spell, the same circular manifestation of words surrounds Katsumi. Several words stop and glow in front of her as she says them. Once she's finished, Katsumi's bow and arrow start emanating with dark energy.
Let's see what's stronger, your fire magic or my dark magic.
Releasing her bowstring, Katsumi's dark arrow soars straight for Ryu. He braces himself by whirling his sword in the air to charge its power. With a powerful swing of his sword, Ryu obliterates Katsumi's arrow. Keeping his momentum going, Ryu uses his long, red fairy wings to rush straight for her with his sword out. With a grin on her face, Katsumi uses her glowing bow to block and trap Ryu's burning sword from moving. At the same moment, Katsumi pulls out a hidden dagger and holds it up to Ryu's throat. Staring into Katsumi's light purple eyes, Ryu smiles.
Looks like you've beaten me, Kat. One of your SAO daggers, I take it?
Since we're celebrating all we've been through, I thought a little nostalgia would be nice.
Katsumi retracts her dagger and places her bow on her back as Ryu secures his greatsword on his back.
Somehow, I knew you would win, Kat. Not for lack of effort on my part, mind you. I gave it everything I have. But so did you.
It was a great duel, Ryu. Thank you.
Anytime.
It's a good thing it ended when it did. I don't think I would have won if it had carried on for much longer.
Why's that?
Well, because I've nearly hit my flying time limit.
Before she knows it, Katsumi's wings suddenly stop sparkling and she immediately falls through the air. Without hesitation, Ryu swoops down and catches her in his arms.
You mean that time limit?
Good thing you were here to catch me.
With her arm around his shoulder, Katsumi runs her hand through his dark red hair.
I'll always be here for you, Kat. Always.
I know, Ryu.
The two of them gaze into each other's eyes, passion rising. Katsumi leans closer to Ryu, but suddenly stops short of kissing him.
What's wrong?
Can you log out and meet me outside in the courtyard?
Under the cherry blossom tree?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Katsumi and Ryu both pull up their menus and click the logout button. Smiling, Katsumi looks at Ryu's salamander avatar once more before her vision blackens. June 16th, 2025. Japan, Tokyo, Katsumi's house. Opening her eyes to her bedroom ceiling, Katsumi gently pulls her atmosphere rig off her head and sets it on the nightstand next to her bed. Sitting up carefully, Katsumi reaches for her cane and uses it to stand. She's wearing shorts and a baggy sweater. Glancing out of the window, Katsumi sees Ryu step out of his house. He's wearing a pair of jeans and a plain red shirt. Smiling, Katsumi staggers toward the door.
I didn't think this day would ever come.
Katsumi opens the front door to her house and limps down the steps. She stops and stares at Ryu, standing with his hands in his pockets. The cherry blossoms drift past him to the stone ground.
The day when the two of us truly see each other for all that we are.
Ryu turns and sees Katsumi. In an instant, his golden eyes brighten as a smile spreads across his face. Beaming, Katsumi hobbles over to him. She stops in front of Ryu and gazes up into his warm eyes. The pink cherry blossoms cascade around them.
Nice sweater, Kat.
Pretty sure it belonged to you at some point. Just one of the many things I've borrowed from you over the years.
Wow, I had no idea that my best friend is a kleptomaniac.
Like you're one to talk, mister. Remember my favorite backpack you stole and lost?
I'm sure it's somewhere. So, why did you want to log out and meet here?
This tree is my favorite place in all the worlds I've been to. Real or virtual.
We spent a lot of time by this tree. Like the time we were climbing it and I fell and broke my arm. I remember not wanting to cry in front of you, but you wouldn't leave my side the whole time.
I think that was the first time I'd ever seen you cry.
Well, it certainly wasn't the last.
It's not the tree that makes me love this spot.
And what is?
It's you, Ryu. From the first moment we met here all those years ago, I've loved you. And despite everything that's happened to us, my love for you has only grown with each passing moment. Growing up together, your self-confidence grew as mine diminished. I was so afraid of remaining merely your best friend when I felt so deeply for you. Everything changed with SAO. I don't know what it was about Aincrad, but you finally saw me. Really saw me. And then the Dragon Heart Blade entered our lives.
Ryu shifts his weight, but continues to look at Katsumi.
The more the sword controlled and changed you, the more my heart shattered. But despite everything it made you do, even hurting me, I still believed in you and wanted to fight for you. That's why I pushed myself so hard in ALO to find and free you.
With glittering tears gliding down her face, Katsumi looks up at Ryu and smiles.
I don't ever want to lose you again. Real or virtual, my world is brighter when you're in it. I love you, Ryu.
Kat.
Stepping closer to Ryu, Katsumi gently places her hand on his neck. She leans in and kisses him on the lips, in the process dropping her cane to place her free hand on the other side of his neck. As Ryu kisses her back, Katsumi feels her knees start to weaken. Just as her knees give out under her, Ryu wraps his arms tightly around her waist, holding her up. Relaxing her arms around Ryu's neck, Katsumi warmly hugs him.
Kat, I love you more than life itself. I'm an idiot forever not noticing how amazing you truly are. Despite everything, I'm thankful for our time in SAO. It's like you said, Aincrad was the wake-up call I needed to help me realize my true feelings for you. I should have acted on them right then and there, but I thought I had more time. Our time together in SAO was split apart by the Dragonheart Blade. Even in ALO, it kept us apart. Being trapped as a ravaging monster with a lust for power was unbearable. The only thing that kept me going was thinking of you. You're the strongest person I know. You've saved me in so many ways, Kat, and I intend on making that up to you for the rest of our lives.
I'm counting on it.
The two of them kiss once again. Ryu spins them around once, prompting Katsumi to laugh with glee.
I think I have an idea on what we should do now.
Oh, really? What's that?
I say we log back into ALO and make it our goal together to clear all 100 floors of the Aincrad Castle, like we should have in SAO.
Sounds like a worthy cause, but just the two of us? Sounds more like something a guild would do.
You're right. Too bad we don't know of any good guilds.
Guess we'll just have to make our own.
We'll need some more members. Maybe 3 more?
I might just know some people who would be interested.
We'll have to pick a good name, naturally.
Oh, of course. It can't be something melodramatic.
True. How about Radiant Valor?
Interesting choice. Are you sure?
Absolutely. Your valor will be the strongest of all.
And your heart will be the most radiant of all.
July 1st, 2025. Alfheim, neutral territory, ancient forest. Katsumi, Ryu, Saki, Akio, and Mariko fly through the sunset sky of ALO towards the Aincrad Castle looming above the ancient forest.
Alright team, let's clear this castle.
Hey, Salamander, remember who the leader is. Giving orders, pep talks, and inspirational one-liners. It's my job.
Jeez, Saki, I can't help it if I'm excited to work our way through all 100 floors.
I can't believe we're finally going to do it.
It's about time Radiant Valor became famous in the world of VR MMORPGs.
Even if we don't clear all 100 floors, all that matters is that the 5 of us stay together.
True. Though clearing all 100 floors would be nice.
Well then, what are we waiting for? Let's clear this castle, everyone!
Katsumi and Ryu tear through the sky towards the castle.
Does no one respect the leader title anymore?
Oh, come on, sis. You know we all appreciate you as our leader.
Just let the lovebirds have their fun.
It's about time they got together.
After everything they've been through.
They deserve to be happy.
Soaring through the sky with Ryu beside her, Katsumi reaches over and grabs his hand. He clutches her hand warmly.
Ryu, let's give it everything we've got.
Nothing will stop us now, as long as we're together.
Together.
Hey, you two! Wait for us!
Well, hurry up then!
The castle awaits!
Saki, Akio, and Mariko fly up to Katsumi and Ryu. Once they reach them, the 5 of them glide through the sunset sky towards the floating castle above. Still holding Ryu's hand, Katsumi turns to each of her friends as a joyful smile appears on her face.
Radiant Valor. A guild comprised of 5 individuals. The perfect team. Friends for life.